Islam Makhachev's lightweight throne might not survive 2026 because Arman Tsarukyan just declared war on everyone, including the champion, and the way this story explodes will shock you long before the final punch lands.
Yeah, he said if you're gonna give me Arman, I'm gonna leave this title, so he should leave that title and give me anybody. I'm not gonna looking for easy fights. I can fight with anybody.
Arman Tsarukyan didn't just beat Dan Hooker in Qatar, he walked out of the cage demanding Ilia Topuria's head and the January title fight that nobody else is brave enough to accept. He roared that every top contender is running, especially Ilia, and claimed the #1 spot belongs to him alone. He dared the UFC to stop protecting their favorites and send him a contract before the year even flips. Call it confidence, call it chaos. Arman wants the belt, and he wants it now.
Well, you've got to face the cold hard truth, so you're probably never going to get hands on the title, but I'm going to hang around as long as I possibly can and ruin as many people's hopes and dreams as I can.
And before you blink, he throws more gasoline on the fire by insisting that his fight with Ilia is the biggest showdown the UFC can make in any division. He says El Pato has been sprinting away from him like the cage is on fire. Arman calls it the fight that breaks the sport open, and he demands Ilia stop hiding behind silence. Keep watching, because what Topuria does next flips this whole rivalry upside down.
But then Arman obviously spun out like the perfect blend of athleticism, instinct, and technique. It was just, was never in any danger.
Ilia Topuria responds not with words, but with a video meant to embarrass Arman in front of the world. He claims Arman acted loud online, but froze stiff in person. Topuria mocks him, swearing he slapped him during their backstage encounter, and points to the clip like evidence in a courtroom. According to Ilia, Arman is a keyboard killer, but face to face he turns into a friendly tourist. And trust me, the drama that comes next is where this beef jumps from trash talk to pure psychological warfare.
Dan Hooker pulls guard, he's got that same guillotine. Oh my god, what the f? Arman just did a 360 180 backwards to get out. What the f happened? His neck, he just twisted. It's all that he does in the fucking workouts and shit. He just twisted the other way. You don't usually turn that way, and he did. Ow.
Arman fires right back by torching Ilia's entire story. He says that the so-called slap was nothing more than a gentle neck tap, something you do before taking a family Christmas photo, not before a fight. Arman calls Ilia insecure and desperate for attention. He says he doesn't need Twitter muscles because everything he proves happens inside the cage. Then he drops the coldest line yet: if Ilia wants to feel a real slap, he'll happily deliver the educational version. And don't go anywhere, because the insult that follows may have just pushed Topuria toward the breaking point.
Yeah, he said if you're gonna give me Arman, I'm gonna leave this title, so he should leave that title and give me anybody. I'm not gonna looking for easy fights. I can fight with anybody, and UFC knows I'm like open to anybody. And I don't know, he's trying to not call my name. He knows that the #1 and the real fighter, it's me.
Arman doesn't stop there. He says if Ilia doesn't want to fight real challengers, he should just hand over the belt. In his mind, the champ is hiding, ducking, and doing everything except defending his title against the man everyone else fears. This is where the tension becomes volcanic, and the next segment might be the exact moment the UFC realizes they can't dodge this matchup any longer. Keep watching, because we're seconds away from the biggest twist in this entire feud.
Dan is a good fighter, good man, but you know, he's not on that level. He took a chance, he got the money, but I want to say thank you for him too, because if he didn't take this fight, I couldn't fight this year, and next year probably I'm not gonna get the title. But because of him, I'm here. I got the win, I got money, I got everything, attention. You know, I just want to say thank you to him.
Arman then flips the narrative with pure respect toward Dan Hooker, the only man brave enough to step up when everyone else avoided him. He says Hooker showed more courage than the champion himself. He thanks Dan for saving his year, keeping him active, and giving him a path back to the title conversation. Without Hooker accepting that fight, Arman believes he'd have lost his entire momentum. That gratitude sets the stage for a surprising reaction from Hooker that you'll want to hear.
Well, you've got to face the cold hard truth, so you're probably never going to get hands on the title, but I'm going to hang around as long as I possibly can and ruin as many people's hopes and dreams as I can, because if I can't have nice things, no one can. Cheers. Cheers to that.
Dan Hooker responds with class, telling Arm respect mate and promising he'll stick around to make life difficult for anyone chasing the belt. He even jokes that he'll probably never touch UFC gold, but he'll make sure nobody else touches it easily either. Even in defeat, Hooker's energy fuels the rivalry surrounding Arman, and now the entire lightweight division feels like a pressure cooker ready to explode.
Performance was crazy like we accept. I knew it's gonna be finished, but I wanted to wait. So don't say that. But I went for it. I like we accepted, you know. So Arman is the best. So he's the number one. He's the champion. He's the athlete. So I believe this guy is one of the best fighters in the world. He has to fight for them.
Khamzat Chimaev jumps in next and aggressively declares that Arman Tsarukyan must fight for the title. He calls Arman the best, the real number one, and says anything else would be a gift to Ilia. When someone as wild as Khamzat weighs in, you know the division is paying attention.
Big swing in here. Arman with a head outside single leg goes into a head inside leg. Dan Hooker pulls guard. He's got that same guillotine. Oh my God. What the Arman just did a 360, 180 backwards to get out. What the happened? His neck, he just twisted. It's all that does in the workouts and twisted the other way. You don't usually turn that way, and he did. Ow. Dude, he just went, I'm an owl. He just decided to be an owl for a little bit. Now Dan Hooker's on his back again. 3.5 minutes left to go.
Then Sean O'Malley enters the conversation, stunned by Arman twisting out of Hooker's guillotine like a horror movie creature. But Sugar Sean doesn't stop there. He claims the UFC will avoid booking Arman versus Ilia because they want to protect Topuria's title reign. O'Malley says the promotion knows Arman might actually take the belt, and they don't want their golden boy dethroned early. This might be the biggest conspiracy angle of the entire video.
Arman is no joke. Arman versus Ilia is an interesting matchup. I do not think the UFC will make Arman versus Ilia because I think they love Ilia as a champion. He's a great champion, and I don't think they really want Arman to become champion. He has a legitimate chance at beating Ilia. I can't believe I said it. I think Ilia might knock him out, but if anyone has a chance of beating Arman at Ilia at 155, it's Arman, the Turkey Mound, Tsarukyan.
Michael Bisping breaks the fight down with pure admiration. He says Arman dominated Hooker everywhere, on the feet, in the clinch, on the ground. He highlights the leg destruction, the crucifix attempt, the elbows, and the final choke that ended it all. And Bisping reminds everyone, Ilia Topuria once said he'd rather vacate the belt than fight Arman. That line suddenly hits a lot harder now.
What was an incredible performance from Arman Tsarukyan. Dan Hooker, I think it's fair to say that everyone loves this guy. He's very entertaining. This new version with the tattoos has put on a lot of muscle. He doesn't care. He's got swag. His dress sense has changed. He's dyed his hair like Eminem. He's talking a lot of shit. He was calling Arman every name under the sun.
Title contender, the guy that beat Ilia, and now he's losing to Dan Hooker, the bloke from New Zealand who's lost a third of his fights.
And I think he convinced a lot of people that he was going to do well. And you know, granted, he has beaten the likes of Mateusz Gamrot that beat Arman Tsarukyan.
Robert Whitaker joins in, praising Arman's freak-level athleticism and technique. He points out how Arman escapes the guillotine, like his spine has no bones at all. Whitaker suggests something might have been off with Hooker, but even then, Arman's performance was on another level. Then he throws a curveball. He wants Paddy Pimblett to earn a title shot, but says he must fight Charles Oliveira first. This adds another layer of chaos to an already exploding division.
Dan has a great guillotine. Okay, and you could see, especially in the second round when he went for the guillotine, he was cinching it up. He was in the midst of cinching it up, but then Arman obviously spun out like the perfect blend of athleticism, instinct, and technique. It was just, was never in any danger. I thought Arman didn't do a lot of work in round one against Fence, but it looked like he took a lot out of Dan's arms and body, like that contest of strength and grappling in that first round. I felt Arman kind of invested, in that round. And then round two, when he was in guard, that would have to be some of the best guard work I've seen, I don't know, in a while.
Henry Cejudo jumps in with classic Triple C energy, calling Arman the man who will dethrone Ilia Topuria. He demands the UFC book Tsarukyan versus Topuria immediately, calling it the only fight that makes sense. Aaron Bronstetter and Danny Segura agree, saying Arman is the biggest threat to Ilia and the next rightful challenger.
But tonight, Arman was fantastic. On the feet, he cracked him, he connected with knees, kicks, he butchered up his calf. I mean, everything that he was throwing was landing with authority. Then he took him down, almost crucifixed him, elbowed the crap out of him and just made life miserable for Dan Hooker. And then in the second round, it was more of the same. He went out, butchered him up, landed some shots, took him down, and then choked him out. Listen, no disrespect. Dan Hooker's incredible, right? And there's no shame in losing to Arman Tsarukyan. He is kind of like this new generation. He wants to fight Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria was in attendance, but he has been very quiet, and he did say that he would rather vacate the belt than fight Arman Tsarukyan.
And here we are, with the lightweight division hanging by a thread and the champion running out of places to hide. Whatever happens next is going to reshape the entire UFC landscape, and when it does, you'll remember exactly where you heard it first.
Because to the point where I think there was something wrong with Dan. Like Dan had injured something, or he was unexpectedly gassed from that first round. Like there was something. There was a spanner in the works, because Dan has a better guard than that, but Arman was just kind of blasting through it. And those tight elbows from guard, like,
oh, bro.
I don't know. I was looking at his flexibility of his shoulders, man, and the speed and the shorter arms than Dan, obviously, because Dan looked like a giant there. Arman looked tiny up against Dan, okay? But still, like, I don't know. He just, and then, with the ground and pounding from guard, which you don't see a lot of. And Dan really had no answer for it. He opened his guard and was kind of just shelling up. And I'd like to see him fight Max even, because those fights get him to the title. And you know, I want to see him get to the title because, like I said, the growth of him has been exponential. He's just that fight against Chandler, he dismantled him. And the fight before that, we saw that focus, that you know, they're zeroing in to what he's got to do.
In my opinion, the more exciting out of all of the, like, Oliveira and Paddy would be crazy, even against Holloway too. I don't know what you do, but it has to be Arman versus Ilia.
I'd love to see Paddy Oliveira.
It'd be so good, right? On the ground.
That's a great fight.
So that's the full war unfolding right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos that hit harder than a spinning back fist.